Definitely go in the same place.
Yeah, it's nice. Good weapons. There's a few people here. Like 15. Yep. I'll end on All-Star we won.
Get on me. Just stole my purple, so I'm gonna kill him for that.
Yeah, let's come. He dropped off. How do you have a purple armor when you're running away? Like, what is... He dropped all the way.
Yeah.
Purple armor when you're running away? This guy's dropping heat shields. People are not okay.
100? Hit him for 100. I'll chase Octane.
Here? Here?
I'm fighting left.
Purple plastic. Huh? Here? Pushing in the field. Raid, Octane here. Octane dead. Fuck off. Raid's coming at you. Right here, Raid. Right below in this corner.
Oh my god, I got it.
You're gonna kill her, right? You're gonna
Why
kill
is that? Why I have a 2x on my... Wait.
Rest, yeah.
No, he's an all-star again. We can talk about it.
No, I'm not chasing that. Let's go kill everyone else.
Wait, I really can't fight an all-star. Like when they're like...
In front of me? A different raid?
You know?
I knocked an Octane, but I didn't finish him.
Yeah, don't worry.
Where'd he crawl to? Oh, he died.
Yeah.
Oh, you found him. There's a raid here. A different raid. There's also a caustic around with a purple armor.
Fucking dilute this gun, all-star. I literally can't see, you know.
Yeah, you...
Oh, you go.
Trust me, I know. Oh, in front of me? 100? 100?
Is that the raid?
So there's a different raid.
No skin?
No, this was like she had a skin.
I hit the raid for 130. A whole new team on me.
I'm coming. He's gonna crypto ult too.
Already did.
Yeah, I did, okay. I broke it. Where are they? They're inside. Fuck you. Crypto one.
Yeah, here's one.
Crypto dead.
100 on the...
Purple and red.
Fuck you, all-star! 100 on him.
Third party. On the roof. I only see one. Oh, you don't know why? Need heavy. Guy was on the roof, I don't know where he went.
Fucking all-star, dude. Oh my god.
Well, you don't like Elsa?
No, I don't like people using it. I don't even want to. This gun is better out.
I would never guess that you don't like Elsa.
I like using a flatline, to be honest. Better than Elsa. Flatline is like so much fun.
Well, Dippy, now I use it, so... I don't fucking know. Don't ask me, my brain works in mysterious ways. kusogaki.
Oh, wait.
We should make a song. All 5 of us and sing it.
Make a song?
Yeah, like an intro. Like an anime opening. We should have an anime opening. I'm not kidding. Actual anime opening. How much would that cost? A couple grand? We could do it.
Yeah. I'm running out of bullets. There's like so many energy here telling me to use the L-Star.
There's so much sniper ammo here. You could definitely pick up a lot of it.
Alright. I know what I'm gonna do.
Oh my god, I love heavy magazines. I love heavy magazines. And we should make, in the opening, we should make Restia sing in a female voice. Like a high pitched voice.
Oh my god. Just tell the tuner to do it. Where are we going?
I'm just off in bins. They're fighting in artillery, so I accidentally found enemies. Can Restia do high voice? Yeah, you can. Of course you can. Restia, do it now. You hear that? Perfect. You do the rap part. Yeah, I'll rap. Restia is gonna do the female voice singing. And we're good. We got a whole band. Oh, there's people here. Holy shit! I almost landed on them. Cool. People here and on the wall. Well, this guy has no idea. Wait, he dropped off the building. He's here now. Okay, here. 2 guys here, bro. I'm gonna throw a bang grenade. Zero? Push?
Oh, they're on me, what the hell?
You're close to do that.
They're getting like shot from the other side. On my right?
Okay.
One bloodhound. It's like literally one. Why are you picking me with 1 HP? The fuck?
This is not good. At the door, he popped the bat.
What's wrong with you, dude?
Door. One. There's a team on the left side of the wall with blue armor.
Yeah. He literally picked me with 1 HP. Oh my god.
Bro, it's diamond. Like, let's be real. No one in diamond uses even like 1% of their brain. They haven't unlocked it yet.
Well, it actually like worked, almost worked.
I'm gonna make a pad up there. I was kidding, man.
That's not gonna work.
He's on the lower part, so it will work, because he can't climb the upper part. There's 2 of them on the lower part. Oh, he's flushed the fuck out.
Yeah. Popping 2,000 coming.
Dude, why did I go forward?
Yeah. What are you doing?
When I punched it. Okay, now they're fucked. Horizon Blue, she's hit really fucking hard. Like, actually hit hard.
I hit him for 45 flash. Wait. Octane, 2,000.
Nice.
That's another team.
Yeah, it is, but they're bunkered. Now, no. You have any bats? I'm 0.
Wait, I dropped.
Well, give it to me later. Look at that guy flying.
Yeah. Hold up your shield, whatever you want. I'm an L-Star.
I knocked out Bloodhound. Octane almost cracked. Bloodhound almost cracked. Dude, I'm crazy. Let me go finish this guy and take his bats.
There's like 3.
Oh, you rezzed him.
Tell me when you're ready. I'm gonna like. They're like
Fine.
probably gonna chase me.
I killed them all. No, they're still there. Give me a sec. I need to grab some bats. I'm out.
Yeah.
Nice. get some bets. They're padding above.
There they are.
And I'm above them. Caustic one. No.
One is like climb.
Octane one. You can't climb this bloodhound, he's one as well. Last guy was one up over there. Hitting 50 blue. Right here. What's the bat? Nice, Austin.
That's not an L-Star.
Someone was shooting an All-Star.
No, it's a Spitfire. What are you talking? I think.
Really?
I think it's our. No, there's no L-Star. What the hell?
I swear I saw All-Star balls flying here. Maybe I'm just becoming paranoid at this point.
Oh my god.
You money.
I don't know you.
I mean, I'm fine for now. I got 160. $11 with 4. So there's a duo.
Yeah, definitely team abusing high ground.
Well, we don't even have to like do anything. Let me just go right side.
Yeah.
Or we can fight them and
we would die again here. It's like
die.
every time, every place
you wanna die again or you wanna go? You choose.
Okay, let's go. I don't wanna like. I hate this. That's like such a advantage place. I wanna kill this team though.
Yeah, now we just sit here and wait for him to come to us.
Yeah.
Hopefully our bloodhound doesn't evaporate. He's good. Coco. Caution.
They drop.
Dude, the Toa follow clip has so much views.
I wanna go down on the ship. To like cut them off.
Roger. Real Somakin TV. Somakin someone famous? Sounds familiar. Ah! From below. They're padding. They're reporting right side. Go here. Come with me.
Yeah.
Inside. Octane fucking shit on. No cap. Behind the truck. Nope. Did we kill this guy last game as well?
No idea.
His name sounds familiar. CV2. But where did the rest of the team go? Ah, they ballooned. I just saw them balloon.
Balloon zone.
Cueva. Helmet. Just hit my head on that thing.
There's like it's 2-2-3 now.
Yeah,
it's 2-2-3. They're like abusing high ground. I'm telling you.
Of course they are. It's Apex Legends.
Apex Legends. I'm so excited for a new season. Rank changes. You don't have to play like a pussy anymore. Like I mean, like.
Are you allowed to leak?
Ape.
Are you allowed to leak? Are you allowed to leak? Are you allowed to leak?
I didn't say anything. I just said anybody can not play like. There's a new rank system. Anybody can
Up there.
stop playing like.
In front of me on the package. Wait, 100.
He's getting shot by another team.
Ah!
Never mind.
Fall back. Oh,
Favor.
fucking
Alternator.
alternator.
You don't need it? I'm using
I don't like using the alternator. Up there on the roof. Ready? 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2. I can see him.
it. Okay.
3.
Wait,
He's on the roof now.
Alright, fuck.
Holy shit. Why is he moving?
You're gonna get shit from the left side.
I'm inside.
They're just leaving. Nobody wanna. They want.
No one a piece of this ass or what? God damn. Up here? That's probably the full team up there, right?
Yeah. People on me here.
I shit on that way.
No, the full team's here.
Oh, okay, so it's a duo behind us. We should gatekeep the full team because they're not in zone.
Yeah. Get it out here.
Oh, they're
like.
They have red armor though.
It's fine.
Or one of them.
There's
One's close here.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Someone's on my left.
No, they're behind me, man. There's a team behind. Come in.
Wow, that's a full team, bro. Are you smoking it? You can go here. There's no ult here.
Yeah. I'm gonna grief this team so hard.
They're above here.
Yeah, we can high ground again.
Jesus Christ, they're so good at the game. Do we have a nuclear bomb to throw at that tower? Because we need one at this point.
I don't even care if we lose now.
Yeah, I just want them to
High ground
lose.
team. Yeah.
Oh, he's got longbow as well. What a cringe lord.
Knock one.
Wait, that's two full teams. How?
Yeah, I think the res.
Oh my god, like no one likes you, not even your fucking mom.
He's still down. I'm making a portal for him.
Yeah, go here. He's down here. Still not res. Almost cracked the shit out of him. I think I'm going, bro.
I'm healing.
Cracked the horizon. All that. I'm good.
I got shot from like left side so hard. On me?
1 second, I'm gonna put a bat on this. Any more ammo, bro? There it is. Sick. Pog, giving some nades. We're good.
Sorry.
They're all still up there, bro.
They're really bad.
Yeah, I know. That's why they're playing like that. This guy's on the roof alone. I'm gonna send him a little present. 0. Good present.
100 on the 120 on the octane.
That guy's alone. I'm gonna arc that rate on the right.
120 on the seer. Hey, okay, we can like push off this.
Okay. No, we can't. No, we cannot. We can definitely not.
Alright.
That rate is like, where is she? Oh, I see where she is.
That's a solo. Never mind. Just kill the team. Make them start.
Okay, but what if this rate grips us? You know, like she's. Oh, she's gone. So it's not gonna end on them. Yeah, we win. Fucking wait for them. One guy's on the left.
I'll play head glitcher.
Yeah. So lame. I'm gonna get a left angle. I got best spot to zone here. What? Why did I just fall? Oh, so you can't be on the left side of it, you can only be on the right side of it. God. I'm burning red on one. I'm burning. Looking for a good head glitch, I can't find one. They gotta move first, so I don't care.
Yeah.
They're gonna pad on us.
Pad.
We can break the pad.
No, I can't.
When they pad, we gotta shit on the midair. The portal.
They're going to the port.
The port's terrible. You can see below them. Rates 1.
Yeah.
Above me.
Yeah, come on, boy. Like how they play like that.
They got shit on, bro.
Yeah.
They got shit on, shit on, shit on, shit on.
エーペックスのチャンピオンとなりました。